Oh, welcome back to the secret underground lair. So I'm just taking some of this wood that we milled yesterday and getting rid of the outside edge to get something a little closer to dimensional lumber. And wouldn't you know it, somebody put a nail in the tree. So I found it with an old saw blade. No harm done. Well, okay, a little harm done, but I can survive that. So now I got to get rid of that nail. In fact, there were two nails in this tree. So I found the one in this piece, and I found one in this piece. This was way down low in the tree. And I can get rid of that simply by cutting off this. I'll probably cut it off right there. That's a whole bark inclusion. So I'll just trim that right off there and get rid of that nail that exists up here. But yeah, for this one, I'm going to get rid of that, pull that nail out, and I'm going to use my hole plug cutter to kind of go around that nail so I can get something to grip it and pull it out. So I'll set the camera up so you can see how I deal with this. So here is my nail, and what I'm taking is my little plug cutter. I'm just setting it over top the nail, and I'm just going to give it a little tap. What I'm looking for here, so I'm just trying to make a little groove that this plug cutter will spin in, rather than wanting to wander everywhere. I think of that as a center punch for a hole cutter, a plug cutter. I'm just going to run on slow speed, and let's see what we do. You can see there's just no wander now with the with that little tapping that I did. And make no mistake that this wet ash is tough to cut. Okay, we've removed about that much, which now exposes that nail pretty nicely. So should be able to get some vice grips in there and hopefully clamp onto something and give it a little bit of a tug. See what happens. So I can see what I have here is not a nail, but a screw. Like a deck screw, maybe a Tapcon. Pretty heavy screw, so I'm just going to try and grip it with my cutters here and spin it, which is happening. I'm getting it to the point where I can grip it now with some vice grips. Now I should be able to spin it out. Yeah, there we go. And that looks like a deck screw. Ugh. That's something I would not have found on inspection, because the head would have been broken right off. But it does beg me to think about getting some sort of metal detector to run over a log before I cut it. In any event, I'm very happy that I found it on the table saw and not on the bandsaw or my sawmill. That would have played absolute havoc with the sawmill blade. And I was a quarter of an inch away from slicing into it widthwise, so yeah, that would have been bad. Anyway, got it out. a little blemish to fix when we get to final piece, and we're done. Next up, we'll be painting the ends of these pieces so that they can go into the kiln. All right, I painted off the ends of that ash log that we had. Put the shiplap on the back of the kiln, so we finished the kiln off. And now loading it up in the kiln. And okay, I feel kind of stupid, but that big old maple log, well, it was ash, not maple, it was ash. So you can see the last remnant of it drying here, right beside the new ash that we're putting in. It's the same wood. So I do feel a little stupid about that, but live and learn every day, right? I did find a dead bug in the kiln, so I do know that temperatures are of the killing variety when it comes to insects, so that'll be good. Anyway, I'm going to close this up, let it sit for a few days, and we'll see how this wood dries out. Right now, the wood that I just put in is over 35%. My meter tops out there. The big slab that we have in here, the 3-inch piece, we're down to about 8% at this end. We're still around 20% in the middle, like the very middle of it. But it is drying out, so the thicker it is, the longer it takes, quite clearly. I put a bar in here now. So this is where I can drape the cloth. So it'll drape over there and then come down. Another piece that we put on the very front. I just stick a piece of a 2x3 that I have lying around, just to drape the cloth over that to kind of keep the air circulating around the wood. So here's the layout of our little heat blanket. You can see it drapes over that rod that I've got, dangles down behind the wood. There's an air gap in here to let the air kind of circulate. And it sits on this 2x3 that I've got, so it's not on the wood that's drying in the kiln, and a little bit of room for the air to circulate down in front. All right, close up.